Hello again, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Save Our Seas Foundation Distinguished Speaker Series. We're so happy to have you all here. My name is Lance. I am the Director of Sustainability at the Museum of Discovery and Science in sunny South Florida. Tonight, we're going to be bringing you yet another amazing shark researcher, speaker, storyteller, to tell you all about their amazing time researching and conserving sharks. Our speaker tonight comes from Cameroon, so going all over the world in this year's speaker series. A little bit about our museum. If anyone is ever in the Fort Lauderdale area, we would most certainly welcome you to the Museum of Discovery and Science. There, our mission is to connect people to inspiring science. We're going to do that tonight. Our researcher tonight, Gofran, is very, very inspiring. But we focus on a few different things at the museum: physical science education, early childhood education, health and wellness education, and environmental sustainability. That's what I do there at the museum, leading all of our efforts there. So come on in, stop by. We'd love to have you. Of course, we love having you join tonight. Thank you to the Save Our Seas Foundation for making this whole series possible. If you are interested in learning more, we have years of the Save Our Seas Foundation Distinguished Speaker Series on the Museum of Discovery and Science YouTube channel. So go check it out. You can binge hours and hours of inspiring science from really great speakers and shark and ray researchers. So tonight we welcome Ghofrane Labyedh. She's an aquatic biologist and ocean conservationist with a master's degree in aquatic biodiversity and ecosystems. Her passion for marine life began on the shores in Tunisia, where she first volunteered to monitor sea turtles on what would later become a national marine protected area. That early experience set the course for her lifelong dedication to protecting the ocean. Since 2019, Gofran has worked in Cameroon with the African Marine Conservation Organization, AMCO, where she focused on sharks and rays. In 2022, she became the Shark and Ray Program Manager, leading fish market surveys, socioeconomic studies with the fishing community, volunteer training, and policy advocacy. Her work bridges science and policy by translating research into reports and briefs that guide decision-making and help secure vital conservation funding. She also coordinates with the West Central Africa Elasmobranch Coalition with the Mantha Trust, strengthening collaboration across research, skills, and policy throughout the region. In 2024, she was named a National Geographic Explorer, congratulations, launching a live release program that empowers fishers to become active partners in conservation. I think last year she was able to speak on this in last year's series, so that was great. Most recently, Gofran became a fellow at the Sustainable Ocean Alliance in Nature Environment Wildlife Filmmaking, where she combined science and storytelling to inspire action. With more than a decade of experience in marine conservation, her vision is to integrate fisher knowledge with science and foster regional collaboration for sustainable ocean conservation all along Africa's coastline. So, Gofran, we're so happy to have you back again. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the second invitation, and thank you for the very long introduction. Thank you.
Well, there's a lot to say about you. You're a pretty
Thank
special
you.
person. So I think it's worth saying it all. Yes, as I said, you were able to join the series last year, just about this time, and we're excited. I'm excited to hear any updates and how's your project's going and all the different things that you're working on. So, yeah, so take it away. The floor is yours.
Thank
While
you.
you share your screen for your presentation,
Yeah.
I'll just remind our guests that
Uh,
you feel free to ask questions. Oh, yep. Go. Oh, you have it. There it goes.
yeah, you can keep talking. Sorry if I'm interrupting.
No, no, it's great. That's fine. Feel free to ask questions as we go through. If you have anything you want to ask, go ahead and type it into the chat. I'll be monitoring the chat the entire time. We will have some dedicated time at the end for Q&A, but don't be shy. If you have a question, ask it, and I'll chime in and be your advocate for those questions. Okay. Um, but yeah, so go,
Yeah.
Fran.
Thank
Go
you
for
for
it.
organizing everything. Yeah, you make everything like more easy. Yeah.
Thank you. I
So
appreciate that.
really. Okay. I'm Gofran. My name like is Gofran. It's an Arabic name. It means forgiveness. And I'm like mainly working with two organizations, one in Cameroon and one is like worldwide. The Cameroonian one is AMCU, African Marine Conservation Organization, where I lead the program of sharks and rays. And the other one is the Manta Trust, where I'm like helping coordinating a regional coalition, always to protect sharks and rays. And I also wear other hats like National Geographic, Save Our Seas, New and Sustainable Ocean Alliance. All of those hats are on my head to protect ocean and its creatures. So I believe that even when we are doing a professional thing, even when we are working, it's still a journey of a personal like thing. And it's like, for me, it was really a journey full of emotions and also shark research in Cameroon and the greater West Africa. So like during this presentation, I will not be only scientist. I will be like a human telling the story of how and why everything happened for me and why I ended up like studying sharks and rays in Cameroon and in West and Central Africa. So I feel that always our personal life affects our professional life, and the fact that I'm multinational, I'm from many countries. Mom is from Tunisia, dad is from Libya, my grandma is from Egypt. Like this reason like made me always curious about going on the other side and discover what's going on. I feel that I belong to every country in the world and in every continent in the world as well. And I live in Cameroon. I'm from like North Africa, but I live in West and Central Africa. So my journey started like literally in 2013, 12 years ago. I decided by then to study genetics. I wasn't like even thinking to be a marine biologist or study ocean or its creatures. I was so interested in the diseases related to genetics and how people can be like having some disorders related to their parents. And I moved from a city to another coastal city to study genetics. But at the same time, I was just living like 2 minutes away from the sea. And that was new for me. And I was spending hours snorkeling. I remember the day I got like myself a mask and tuba, and I was like swimming and being with the first time with fish, not in the plate, being swimming with them. I remember that moment. And I remember every time I was like having down energy, I was always going to the sea and spending time snorkeling, and that like felt more than amazing. At the same time, I discovered slowly an association, also not far from my house, which is like working on the protection of sea turtles. Because where I was like living, it's called Monastir. It's Monastir city. There is like an archipel, two small islands, not like there are no people living on these two islands. These two small islands are a stable site for nidification for sea turtles. They are like one of the rare sites where sea turtles go every year to nest and like fly their eggs there. So I started volunteering with this association, and I spent like 5 years volunteering. Every summer, I was going to this island to like wait for the sea turtle to come out and mark it and monitor the nesting and everything. And by then, I discovered like um, another meaning for life. I discovered that sometimes we can be living without leaving an impact. And when I was volunteering, I felt for the first time that I have an impact on our planet Earth. I was like helping an animal. I was like changing some facts. I was like shifting a problem to a solution. And I remember the day I went to mom, I said, Mom, I'm going to change my studies from genetics to marine biology. And everyone was upset to me. Everyone was, it was like a disappointment for everyone because I should have repeated 2 years again. And even me, I cried a lot that night. The night I decided to stop genetics and I started like studying marine biology because I felt that I'm existing. I'm being alive while I'm protecting the ocean and its creatures. And that started in 2015. I started like studying marine biology, and I conducted my like the final project of my bachelor degree was about counting fish around these two islands. I was diving and I was counting fish while diving and identifying the fish species to give like an inventory because these two islands by then, like in 2015, they were about to be marine protected areas. They are now already marine protected areas, though I contributed to tell the government that we have those species of fishes by then. And that was the start of my career. Yeah. And after finishing this, after finishing my bachelor degree, I was super fascinated by whales. I have a big connection with the sperm whale. It's related to my also personal story. I was like 100% sure that if I will study whales, I need to study whales elsewhere, not in Tunisia, because we don't have like whales. They only pass by. They don't visit like our waters in Tunisia. And that was like affecting my mind. Girl, if you want to study whales, you need to go out. And one Sunday, I was already like studying my master's degree. I started the master's degree in Tunisia. um one Sunday, that's like the whole story about sharks and rays in Cameroon. It's really a story to tell. One Sunday I was just staying like at home as every student, dreaming about opportunities outside of my country, and I typed like literally marine mammal organizations in Africa. And that's how I found out the organization I'm working with today. Because by then it was like its name, it was African Marine Mammal Conservation Organization. Now we just like moved away the mammal word because it's more wide now. But by then it was like Marine Mammal Conservation Organization. And this simple research led me to an interview and to a 2 month internship in Cameroon. I went to Cameroon to prospect the whole marine megafauna, not just whales. But I remember by then the president of the organization like told me, you will come to Cameroon, you will go to the sea twice to see whales because all I was talking about was whales. But you will also prospect data that we have on other marine megafauna. And I spent a lot of days prospecting this data, which was based on a mobile application called the Siren mobile application. This application was mainly used by fishers. They take pictures of any marine species they will encounter, whether during their like sea trips or like their landings. And I found out that 97% of this data is dominated by sharks and rays. It's created by my supervisor, Aristide Takukam Kamla. He's also the founder and the president of the organization I'm working with. This application is now used by almost 80 fishers along the Cameroonian coastline, and it's like now it's like deployed to at least 10 countries around the world, and mainly in West and Central Africa. So I found out that this data was highly dominated by sharks and rays. 97% of it was rays and sharks, a data from 2015 until 2019. And I also visited 10 fish markets, and I saw everything I can see about sharks and rays. Juveniles, like 2 meters individuals, many species, fins, braided rays, smoked rays, everything. Everything was loud to me, and I didn't see any whale. In 2019, I went like mainly to see whales in Cameroon. I didn't see any whales, but the sharks, they were so loud to me. They were calling for help. And as an ocean conservationist, I wouldn't like close my ear and say, oh, I love whales, I cannot do this. And that's how I started studying and doing shark research, because of this call from them. And I helped to design the fish market surveys for AMCO organization. I went back to my country, I went back to Tunisia, but I helped the organization to design a fish market survey. And I said, it's urgent to know more about this species. It's okay, we have the citizen science data, but we need to have in-depth data like measurements, maturity, sex, and everything. And they started doing surveys in the northern coastline and in the central coastline. And I was like trying to coordinate things from Tunisia. And yeah, as you see, like taking measurements, weight, and also samples and participatory cartography. We give mini GPS to fishers to record their fishing, like the catch locations of sharks and rays. And all of that is to have like the completed picture of sharks and rays in Cameroon. And I combined this data, the citizen science data and the fish market service data, and that was the period of COVID. So that's why I couldn't go back to Cameroon. And I remember my supervisor was asking me, can you do your master's thesis on sea turtles? Sea turtles are in Tunisia. And I was like, no, I will do my master thesis on sharks and rays in Cameroon. No one is talking about sharks and rays in Cameroon. Why I wouldn't? Like, it's like they need voice. I will be their voice. That's what I want to do. And that was the first thesis in Tunisia that was about other like habitat outside of Tunisia. That wasn't easy at all. And I remember they spent like 2 hours asking me questions about everything, because no one was knowing nothing. Like everything was unknown in this country. Everything was unknown in this area. So it was really essential to do this study in Cameroon and in this region. And in 2021, I wrote the first project with the Reford Foundation. And also my organization had funding from Save Our Seas. That was the first Save Our Seas initiative I contribute to. to initiate the socio-economic interviews, to be more close to the fishing community and ask them about everything related to shark and ray fisheries and like the future conservation strategy management that we want to implement. And I went back to Cameroon for the second time, and I spent 6 months by then as the project manager and fundraiser with AMCO. And that was the first job I got in my life. And after that, in 2022, I wrote the second report to complete the whole coastline of Cameroon. I was more curious. The more I know, the more I'm curious. I was prospecting the north. I spent 6 months prospecting the north, and then I started studying the rest of the coastline, which was the southern. I started doing that from distance, and after a few months, I moved to live permanently in Cameroon, and that was a very hard decision. And by then, I started visiting the fishing communities along 100 kilometers of coastline. I was spending kind of 2 weeks in every site, like 2 weeks in Iboji, 2 weeks in Campo, to talk with the fishing community, to know more about what's going on. And that was a very, very, very shifted point in my life. That was when I discovered the magic of the fishing community in Cameroon, how much they are resilient, how much they are strong, how much I can learn from them. I never expected what I got from the fishing community by that time in 2023. How much they are emotional, they cry, they laugh, they feel, they care, they give, they love giving, they love telling stories, they love protecting me. They always I would never forget how fishers telling me my daughter, and they mean it. They weren't just saying it, they were meaning it. And that was like, I was more than surprised, because we always thought that fishers are the problem. We always thought that fishers are the ones who are like destroying the ocean, the ones that are finishing the stocks, the ones that are killing everything. And when I started discovering this community, I felt that no, we know nothing about this community. We know nothing about them. We cannot tell. Like it's more than we are saying. It's they know. They were teaching me things that I have never heard before. One fisher, he was telling me a story. He was fishing, and in his nets he found a pregnant female of hammerhead shark. And he told me, I like broke my nets to release her back. I said, why? He said, she needs to be in the ocean. I said, why? He said, because she has a baby. She needs to take care of the baby. I was like, I was really speechless. Like, okay, sorry if I'm asking many whys. And yeah, I will never forget that. Fishers, they care. They really care. And they are also like collaborative. I saw the women of the fishers helping like their husbands during fishing, because it's no more easy. Even them, they are suffering. Not just us as a scientist, we are complaining about the ocean. Even them, they know what's going on. They are like the more close people that they can say what's going on. And that was really my compass that changed all my perspectives about science and conservation and everything. And thanks to the fishing community, we collected like 7,000 data, 7,000 observations of sharks and rays from like 2015 until 2023. And thanks to them, we knew that we have 45 species in Cameroon, including 28 of rays and 17 of sharks belonging to 17 families. The most observed ones are the ones that you are seeing now: the pearl ray, the daisy ray, scalloped hammerhead shark, the blackchin ray, the milk shark, the bull shark. And unfortunately, 80% of the species that we were seeing in Cameroon, they are vulnerable, listed like on the red list of the IUCN. And 13 species of them are critically endangered. And sorry, yeah. And like the most two observed species are, sorry, it's, yeah. The most two observed species are the scalloped hammerhead shark and the blackchin guitarfish. They are the most observed, which means they are the most caught. And at the same time, they are critically endangered. Critically endangered means that we have like one step before extinction. And that's where I wrote my project with Save Our Seas Foundation, which is caring for Cameroon's sharks and rays. This project is based on the live release. Okay, I was saying if the fishing community is aware, is happy to help, let's change the narrative. If they are catching already sharks and rays, let's release them back. If we don't need them, let's release them back. And that's what was happening since 2024. I initiated this program, which was supported by Save Our Seas, and that's how I became an explorer with National Geographic Society, because they are also supporting this initiative. And this program is one of my favorite things I have done in my life, where I went with fishers during their sea trips to train them how to release back baby sharks and rays after being caught in their nets. And those moments and those sea trips are so remarkable in my life, because I was seeing how fishers are so emotional while they are releasing back those animals back to the ocean. And we like released 10 individuals. I released 10 individuals with 4 different fishers. And the main thing I wanted to say, the main message I wanted to say during this program is that fishers are the solution. And they have never been the problem. They are the ones who are helping those threatened animals. They are the ones who are giving back life to threatened sharks and rays. And I really like appreciated every sea trip with every fisher, and they kept sending me videos and pictures after I was with them during their sea trips. They kept sending me videos and pictures where they have been doing it without me. They have been releasing back sharks and rays without me. And one of the fishers I was collaborating with on this activity, he really surprised me. He told me that sharks are his ancestors, and he aims to stop his fishing community to fish them, even though there is no more fish in oceans. We shouldn't fish sharks because they are the ancestors. He knows already that sharks, they did exist even before trees. They were existing even before dinosaurs, and he knows that they have been like here for a very, very, very long while. And he believes that they are the ancestors, and by protecting them, we are protecting more than species. Like, we are protecting wool heritage, wool, um like it's more than an animal. It's like a wool story. This fisher called Leopold, he invented an ecotourism program to make his fishing community stop fishing sharks. No one told him to do that. He did that alone. No one came to him and told him, oh, you need to stop doing this and you need to start an alternative solution. He already created his ecotourism program, which is based, because this habitat, it's like a very unique habitat. It's a river. It's where the river is having a date with the ocean. It's a river, waterfall, and ocean. So they are very lucky to be living there. They have the river to fish shrimps. They have the ocean to fish fishes and everything. And he invented like a wool program. He's taken visitors to visit the river and show them the shrimp fishing. And he also created a restaurant where fishers themselves, they are cooking the fish, they fish it for the visitors. And this story was so intense for me. When I heard this story, I was like, we need to tell this story. And that's how I applied within youth for to produce a short film about this fisher, about like how he's protecting sharks and rays, and at the same time he invented like an ecotourism program. I'm now still in the research phase, uh, and as a scientist, it's not easy to be storyteller, but I'm trying my best. Let's see what will happen. So yeah, and I'm always being fascinated about fishers. I'm just saying that because it's it's something so big, and we use it to tell only negative things about fishers, never positive things. And what I'm saying now, it's more than positive, it's unique. It's that I've never like heard that. And yeah, that was at like a local scale in Cameroon. And at a regional scale, my journey started like with the Manta Trust. In 2022, we collaborated with Manta Trust. It's, as I said, worldwide charity. They are in 29 countries around the world. They are mainly protecting manta rays and mobile rays, but also their cousins, which are sharks and rays. And our story started with this picture. Our collaboration started with this picture with Manta Trust. As I was saying, with the siren application that is mainly used by fishers, we received this picture. And this picture is very confusing. We thought that it was a very rare species, Mobila rochebrini. This like species wasn't observed since 1960. And when the president of Manta Trust saw these pictures, he thought that it was the species. And he said, please keep this specimen preserved. And they send even funding. And we bought a freezer and we stored the specimen, and we thought that it was the species. And they came in 2022 to take samples and show us how to do dissection and everything. And then they conducted genetic analysis, and we found out that unfortunately it wasn't that species, but it was another species which is also critically endangered, Mobula epostoma. And we published this paper thanks to a fisher who sent this photo. So always fishers are our heroes. And in 2023, we hosted the first workshop. We invited 12 representatives from the Gulf of Guinea, 12 countries in Cameroon, 12 people who are working on sharks and rays. We gathered them and we drafted the first strategy on sharks and rays in the region. And this draft was presented in Senegal just few months after, during the Marine Megafauna Week, organized by CMS, Conservation Migratory Species. And by then, the government representatives asked us, why you are in the beginning, you are already establishing something. Why are you being only in the Gulf of Guinea? Make it wider and be in the whole West and Central Africa. And that's where we shifted from the Gulf of Guinea to the West and Central Africa Coalition. And I'm now helping coordinating this initiative, this coalition. We are collaborating with the IUCN Shark Specialist Group, with the CMS, with the WCS, Wildlife Conservation Society, to enhance policy, research, collaboration in this region where nothing is being perfect. We need that everything will be perfect, using Siren application to facilitate data collection. And also we aim to create the first document, which will be a guide on the sharks and rays in West and Central Africa, and also enhancing like the capacity and the skills of people that are aiming to study sharks and rays, because it's not easy. Sometimes we want to do something, but we don't have the skills. So our objectives are to enhance research, collaboration, and policy in the region. And I am so optimistic about this coalition next year. I think many species will be listed as like related to CITES and many international conventions, to be like not allowed that fishers can fish them. And also, thanks to this collaboration, we submitted the first paper. It's under revision now, with the data we have been collecting through the Siren application and the fish market surveys. Hope it will be published soon. I want to thank the whole team. I am not alone doing this. I can never be alone doing this. I have those amazing people that you can see in the screen. I want to thank every one of them. And if any one of them wasn't here, we couldn't do what we have done. And also, I want to thank again and always my fishing community family, that they have been doing like more than everything to provide data, to help us, to tell us about everything. I can never thank them. I can never thank them. And I have a video of 3 minutes to show you a little bit of everything, of studying sharks in Cameroon, how it's like to study sharks in Cameroon. I want just to check if the sound is on, Lance.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do like this if it's on.
It's good. We can hear it.
Entre le ciel et la mer, entre le sable et l'eau claire, j'y ai vu ma place près de toi. J'ai su que j'étais chez moi. Dis-moi les secrets que tu caches, toutes les histoires que tu gardes, pour que je n'oublie pas où je vais, d'où je viens, pour que je n'oublie jamais. Non, elle n'est pas électrique. Sur ma terre. Sur la terre du Nord, sur les pas de mes pères.
Ouais, il faut arrêter comme ça.
Et j'entends la voix de mes frères qui me disent n'oublie jamais qui tu es, d'où tu viens. N'oublie jamais, tiens, sur la terre. Sur la terre. Let me see myself in your eyes. My life.
Yeah, before closure in this, I wanna say a poem by Khalil Gibran. It's called "The River Cannot Go Back." It's said that before entering the sea, a river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she has traveled from the peaks of the mountains, the long winding road crossing forests and villages. And in front of her, she sees an ocean so vast that in her, there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. But there is no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean, because only then will fear disappear. Because that's where the river will know it's not about disappearing into the ocean, but of becoming the ocean. I say this poem because I know sometimes our dreams can be our monsters. Sometimes when we are like taking huge steps, it's freaking out. Everyone will tell you, no, you will not do it. You will never do it. Do it. If you are dreaming about, do it. 10 years ago, I would never imagine where I am now. If someone comes to me and tell me you will be living in this country where you know nobody, where you have no friends, you have nothing, I would never believe it. And that's my message today. whatever you are doing, you don't need to be a scientist. I'm just talking to everyone. You don't need to be a marine biologist. You don't need to be a shark researcher. Just be yourself and never fear what you are dreaming to do. And thank you.
That's amazing. Oh, that's so great. Yeah. I'm inspired by your work. It's your story is really great. Thank you very much for sharing it with us tonight. Um, I applaud you for doing science and telling stories, because that's exactly what we need more of, right?
Yeah.
We learn best through stories. That's how humans have learned forever. And if we can't connect stories to, you know, policy and taking action, then then we're not doing it correctly, right? So I applaud you in doing and taking on such a holistic scientific endeavor, and bringing everyone along for the ride. We have time for questions. We have a few minutes. If anyone has any questions, please feel free. You can type them into the chat. I'll ask them on your behalf. But while we have a few questions might come in here, Gofran, I'll just ask, how can people stay up to date on what you're doing? If we're inspired by you and what you're doing, and what's the best way to you can share that last screen again if you wanted to, but you had your Instagram and a few other things on there. But
I'm
yeah.
so bad at communication. And I just like joined the community of Sustainable Ocean Alliance. I'm so glad to be a fellow with this like organization, and thanks to them, I'm like shifting to be really more communicator. It's not that I don't have the time. I use it to be always shy to post about my work and those stuff, but I'm like trying my best now to change this attitude. So I invite people to follow my Instagram and my LinkedIn. That's where I'm posting. And I promise I will do my best.
Great.
I
Yeah.
know.
Well, it seems like you have a great network. There's a huge group of people that are going along with you and doing research that is along the same lines. And of course, the Save Our Seas Foundation, the Manta Trust, AMCO. There's tons of people out there doing lots of really great work. And I loved seeing your new plans, that new timeline from 2025 onwards, right? And when you look at that map and you're like, all these countries, that's the entire west coast of Africa, just about. So
Yeah.
so bringing all that in, I'm sure there's challenges in talking to different governments and getting researchers to talk to one another and stuff. But it's really exciting to see that. Um, and
Thank you.
yeah, and hopefully you can get more of the fishing community on board in those other countries as well. Can you speak on that just a little bit, just for our guests that aren't used to seeing like such fish markets such as these in Cameroon, right? Um, Fish are important protein sources for these communities, right? So you can't just say stop fishing, right? That's not a sustainable solution. So just talk about that dynamic just a little bit, if you wouldn't mind, and what are some of the strategies you guys help the fishers with to save certain species but still consume others,
Yeah. Actually, at first, when fishers were seeing me, they were always afraid of me.
Mm,
And when I became National Geographic Explorer, I could never been able to wear the t-shirt, because if they will see the t-shirt, they will say, "Oh, she's here to report us. She
mm,
tell like the government and everything. And to be more close to the community, I was asking them to show me their daily life. For example, I was like with families while they were cooking rice. I was asking them, "Oh, do you have any traditional dishes that you cook with rice?" And they were, "Oh yeah, we have. Can I see them?" And they were, "Yeah, we can show you." And I ate this dish, but I didn't eat like rice. I don't like rice. I was just showing them that I'm curious to know their life,
Mm,
and I'm there just to tell them that I'm protecting you before protecting sharks and rays. That's what I was telling them. If you will keep eating sharks and rays, you will be threatened before sharks and rays.
mhm.
They have toxins in their flesh. They are the
Right.
like high predators of the trophic chain. And I'm here to see everything. And I'm an observer. I don't like, I will never tell the government that there are no laws that exist. So like even though that there will be laws, I will never like tell the delegates, "Oh, this fisher, he caught the shark." That will never like solve the problem.
Right.
So the fact that I was so close to the fishing community made them believe in me. The emotions, that's how we build trust, and that's how we could collaborate. And also the fact that I didn't give the lead. They are leaders. Fishers, they are
Mhm.
leaders. I
Right.
just I just like maybe helped to put some light, but they have been leaders. I wasn't the one that, "Oh, I'm giving them the leadership." No, they are the leaders. They
Yeah.
they've been like, they are locals. I just came here for a few years and I will go. So the fact that they are a big part of the story, or even the story itself,
Mhm.
made them responsible.
Right.
And now they call me, they send me pictures. They are proud of themselves that they are
Right.
helping sharks and rays. And in Cameroon, every fish market is different. So even in the same city, you visit like two fish markets, and as if you are in two different cities. A
Mhm.
fish market, like for example, there is the fish market I was talking about, the river and the ocean and the waterfall.
Yeah.
There we can see ecotourism. There is another fish market, is a village. It's a wool village. It's very like isolated village. They don't even go to the town. They have everything they need. It's the village of fishers. So it's so different. You need to adapt yourself to every fish market.
Right.
And I I never blame fishers because they are fishing sharks and rays. I
Right. Yeah.
listen to them why they are doing that, and we see if we can find a solution. So
Right.
yeah,
Understanding their point of view, a little empathy goes a long
yeah,
way. Right.
yeah. You got
Um,
me.
we had another question
Okay.
that came in. So you showed all those different species, and there's like a huge diversity.
Yeah.
The question is just about like why is there such a great number of species in that area? Is it the location? Is it climate? What is there other reasons? Why does it seem like Cameroon's um the, the great
I don't know why I'm not seeing those questions, but it's a very, very like important question. I want to tell this person that we have more than,
it's from Pia Hardy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I cannot see in the chat.
I think it just went just to me, but
Okay,
that's okay.
no
So
worries.
I'll read it verbatim if you want. So why is that area why does the area have so many sharks and rays? Is it the location, climate, or other reasons?
Yeah, thank you, Pia, for your question, and thank you for being with us. Yeah, I see you. Actually, I want to tell you that we have more than 45 because we have samples. I can show you some of the like samples. We didn't conduct. Yeah, I'm leaving with samples.
That's just the life of a
um,
researcher.
yeah, actually, we didn't conduct yet genetic analysis. I'm more than sure that with genetic analysis, we will discover more species.
Mhm.
And in Cameroon, we have corals. We have at least 4 different types of habitats. It's a very, very, very um, very intense area, and no one was studying this area before. My organization was the first organization that was conducting diving research to prospect what's going on. No divers were here to tell what species we have. All we have been doing only fisheries, only dead animals. We don't know what's going on in situ. We don't know what's
That's
going on in the ocean. So it's still crazy. It's a very, and it's so virgin. Like here, there is no like pollution compared to my country, for example. In Tunisia, we have like every kind of pollution. Here the land is so virgin, which is a good thing, and that's why we need to like take an action to those species, because maybe they are resident, and there are many mangroves here. Mangroves are a very, very important habitat for sharks and rays, like for the nursery habitats. Sharks and rays, they lay down their babies in the mangroves because it's a safe place. So yeah, Cameroon is a very unique place. I know it's
lots of
not
different.
easy. It's not easy to be here, but I really like I feel that Cameroon is still lucky. It's still virgin. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's
much.
yeah, it's incredible to think that there's so much when you think about
Yeah.
like science has answered lots of questions, right? Like all the questions. There can't possibly be something that's unexplored, but
Yeah,
there is like an entire
of
coast of
course.
a continent is
Of
unexplored, you know? So
course.
as far
Yeah.
as species for sharks and rays. So
Yeah.
no, so that's cool. Well, um, I think that's where we're going to have to call it this evening. If you, thank you so very much for coming back and updating us, and I wish you the best of luck with
Thank
all of your plans going forward and putting together an even bigger, more robust network and more research. We're so happy to have you back. Thank you.
thank you for everything. I'm happy always to share what's going on here. Um, a big part of the story is when you are telling the story. So thank you. Thank you
That's
so much.
right. That's right. Well, well, next year's series, you're top of the list to come on back. So I'm gonna get another
Maybe.
update.
Maybe I will be talking about whales.
Oh, maybe. Finally.
Maybe. Let's see.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lance.
You're
Yeah.
very welcome. Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining us this evening.
Yeah, I'm so
Thanks.
happy to see these faces. Yeah. Thank you, Maria. Maria, she's a fellow. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
With me in the Sustainable Ocean Alliance. Thank you for
Oh,
joining.
fantastic.
And
Yeah.
Sonia also. Yeah. And
Thanks
thank
for
you.
supporting your colleagues.
Yeah, and thank you, Paul. Also, he joined, and Cami, my friend in Cameroon, and Trust, he's my colleague with AMCO. Yeah, I'm just like checking. Yeah,
No, that's
thank you for
great. That's great.
everyone. Yeah,
We will post GoFriend's talk on the Museum of Discovery and Science YouTube channel. You
yeah,
can go back and watch it. Share it, of course, with everyone that you come across. Build up those views. And like I said, you can go back and watch GoFriend's talk from last year or any of the other talks from the series. Thanks again to the Save Our Seas Foundation. We're so happy to be supported by them and to make this series possible. So join us next time, next month, September 11th, same time. This is Eastern time, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern, to talk about sea turtles in the Seychelles. With Dr. Jeanne Mortimer, world-renowned scientist Jeanne Mortimer, talking about sea turtles. So we'd love to see you guys back here for that. You can go to the mods.org/STEM learning series or scan that little QR code there to register. All right. Thanks.
thank
We'll see you
you.
guys next time. Thank you again,
Bye.
girlfriend.
Bye.
Bye.